Oh. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Only One Hotspur podcast. Today we have been joined by Charlie. So Charlie, good to have you on, my man.
Nice to be here again.
So obviously today we're going to be previewing our massive clash with West Ham. It's massive in the sense that us as Spurs, we need 3 points in order to really sort of kickstart our push for Europe and European places next season. Obviously, as we all know, it's West Ham's cup final, so they are always going to turn up. But I think, you know, for us, it's a massive game and a good opportunity for us to get 3 points, considering the way that they've been playing. So, Charlie, I'm going to come to you first. How do you see this one panning out?
Well, I'm going to say only one way, really, and I think it's got to be a win for us, isn't it? Let's be real. West Ham, they're not doing great at the moment. They're fighting probably to stay in the Premier League, and a team like us should really be beating a team like West Ham. But as this fixture proves to you, it's not always as simple as that. Obviously, a few years ago when we were fighting for the title, West Ham were in a similar position to where they are now, and they turned us over quite easily again. First team to beat us at the new stadium, and we're back there again. So I want to say it's going to be easy 3 points for Spurs, but it's West Ham. It's a London derby. You never know. But let's say Spurs win.
Brilliant. And I think you're spot on as well, in the sense that it's one of those games that form does go out the window, and it can tend to throw up a few surprises. Joe, what are your thoughts then heading into this one?
Yeah, I think I agree with Charlie there. To be fair, obviously, this game you never really know what's going to happen, because it's West Ham's biggest game of the season, Tottenham away. They're never going to have a bigger game in the season. Let's face the facts, unless if they are fighting to stay up on the last day, which we hope is the case. But I think a big thing to mention is obviously no fans in the ground. That means obviously no away supporters for them. And I think, to be fair, they do help push the team that bit more on them days. So hopefully that plays in our favour a bit. And I also feel at times, I remember last year, obviously, I think it's fair to say some Tottenham fans were getting on the back of the team and getting quite frustrated against West Ham. And at times I think that doesn't help. So I think the no fans part could be interesting as well for this game. But we have to win this one. We have to. If we lose the first 2 games at the new stadium to West Ham, never going to hear the end of it, because they won't be back in the Premier League for a few years, so they won't have a chance to play us again. So won't have a chance to set the record straight. What do you think then?
Well, just to pick up on your point of West Ham being, and Charlie's point as well, of West Ham being the first team to win at the new stadium, I still get people messaging me about that. Those guys, they know who they are. I'm not gonna dig them out. They know who they are. So yeah, I think that particular game was actually my first experience of a Tottenham West Ham game. I'd never been to one before, and actually losing, I was a bit like, okay, like we've lost, But then I think it was just the level of stick I got afterwards was ridiculous, and I lost my head. I'm not gonna lie, fully lost it. I was not happy, telling people to do one and all sorts, and then they were just like, yeah, but Wes, I thought it didn't mean anything. And I'm just there like, nah, bit like, go away, just go away. Seriously.
The thing is, though, I agree with you with that, but also the manner of the loss in that game of Antonio, and just that game was just awful. It was a really, really bad game for us.
Yeah. I think as well,
clicked.
like, no, nothing did. But I think with this one, it's definitely one of those whereby we should have the quality to get the job done, and things like that. Obviously, Dele and Lucas being back for us is massive. I think, that was probably one of the downsides from the United game, actually, was that we didn't have players in forward areas that could come off the bench and change the game, whereas obviously for this particular game we will. And I know we're going to come on to our predicted lineups and fairly shortly. So it's going to be a tight one because I think all the players are still feeling their way into the rhythm of playing again. Obviously, I'd love us to turn them over and do the double over them, which I think we haven't done in a while. Which would be nice. And then I can give some stick to these lads that have been giving it to me for God knows how long. So yeah, I think it would be nice for us to do it. Like I said, I think it will be a tight game. They always raise their game. I've said this to a couple of people over the last sort of few days about it. It's like no matter what form West Ham are in, and obviously we know that they are struggling at the minute, but they could be in the most horrendous form going, but they will just turn it on for this game and then just go back to what they were like. It's it's a really, really strange fixture. So yeah, like I said, I think it'll be a tight one, and hoping for a Spurs win. So Joe, I'm going to come to you with this next one first this time. Who do we think is going to be key for us and for West Ham in this particular fixture?
Yeah. Well, hopefully Delhi plays because I think he's raring to go. I think, I could just see him having a big impact on the game, to be honest. Because I think he'll start ahead of Lamella, to be honest. I think them two will swap. Obviously, we'll get into that a little bit later. But I think Delhi, it'll be good to have him back. Obviously, he didn't play on Friday as well, so that might help a little bit. Obviously, the match fitness isn't there, but he won't be as tired as maybe some of the other players. And I also think Lucas as well. If he's fit as well, he could be a key player for us, obviously, for his pace, even if he's coming off the bench, because obviously that's something we lacked on Friday. Even like that last 20 minutes or so, running at them, I think that would be key. I think it'll be interesting to see if Dyer starts as well. I think, obviously, as we said, he did have a good game, we think, on Friday, apart from the penalty. So it'll be interesting to see if he starts and then how he plays after that. And also, I think Winksy up against Mark Noble in the middle, most likely. I think that'll be an interesting little battle. Tottenham lad up against West Ham. I think that could be a good little battle, and hopefully Winksy lets him know his boss. But for West Ham, I think Fabianski, obviously, he has a good game against us a few times before. I remember at Swansea, when he was at Swansea, he had an all right game against us, and obviously his Arsenal connections probably means the game's a bit more for him personally. Apart from that, really. Oh, and Antonio as well. Obviously, as we know, he scored the goal against us last year. Not a nice guy. But apart from that, I can't really see anyone giving us that much of a problem in the West Ham squad. I seriously do not rate that team, hence why they are that low down in the league, to be honest with you. Yeah, no,
I think I think that you're fairly sort of spot on with that. Charlie, I'm going to come to you now. Who do you see being key for both sides?
Well, if we start with West Ham, to be perfectly honest, one of my good mates is a West Ham fan, unfortunately. And I was chatting to him the other day, oh no, I know. He comes to me. But I
hopefully he pays.
Yeah, but I was chatting to him, and he said to me, right, well, we've only really got two main players anymore. And he goes, and one's 18 and one's 20. And he's referring to Declan Rice and the right back we call Jezza because we're not sure how to say his name. But so he says they're two key players. And again, I've not really watched West Ham much this season. I did watch them against Wolves, and I just thought that was just very, very poor, very, very wasteful in possession. So I just think to be perfectly honest, I don't see them as much of a threat to us, especially playing away from home, despite there being no fans. I mean, they don't have many fans there normally anyway, so that might play into their hands. But apart from that, I mean, I don't know. Like for us, I think again, having a fit squad is just a complete difference for us. We're not used to it, and you'll look at that probably on team selection and say, well, as Joe just said, like Lucas Moura is available. He didn't even get a sniff like the other night. You look at Kane, he played 90 minutes. Is he going to play again in the space for a couple of days? He's been out for 6 months. I think Ndombele will start. I think there's no way you can't start a man who everyone's crying out for him to play. So many people have been going on about his fitness and his issues. I feel like at some point you've just got to say, look, here you go prove yourself. And I think a game against West Ham, a team that's a bit down there, a team that's probably not going to have him running around too much, might give him a bit of confidence to get on the ball and play. And he's very much a ball player. So I really hope he starts. And again, Dele Alli, I think it's kind of game, isn't it? He loves a little fight. He loves a little tussle. Him and Mark Noble will probably get into a little scrap. So I definitely see Ali having a key impact on the game, especially the reverse fixture this year. You know, the little flick he kept the ball on the pitch in Jose's first game. I think it'll be Dele's time to come and play a bit better and shine again, to be honest. So I'd say that's probably my take on it.
Yeah, no, I think I completely agree, boys. I think Dele loves these kind of fixtures, these big games. He often does something in them as well, whether that be a goal or an assist, or Charlie, as you mentioned just there, the flick in the West Ham game. I think Dele's going to be really, really key for us. I think we missed him on Friday against United with him breaking from deep. I think that would have helped us a lot in terms of getting out, because I think United were camped in our half, especially second half. So yeah, I think Dele's going to be key for us. I think Lucas will start, and I think he'll be key for us as well, with that pace and the direct nature in which he goes at players. I think West Ham, you're probably looking at Felipe Anderson, game changer, can produce something out of not very much. Noble, because he's West Ham through and through, he sort of understands the fixture. Usually, obviously, with fans there, he'll know what it means to the fans being a West Ham lad and a West Ham guy. But I think he'll be relaying the message to the players. Obviously, like I said, we know that the fans aren't present, but still send West Ham fans with a happy face and things like that. Declan Rice will be key for West Ham as well, whether he's playing at centre half or in midfield. I don't think we're too sure on that as of yet, but I think he'll be key for West Ham as well. So, but I think as well our strength in depth now should tell and should get us over the line with this one.
I just want to laugh about that for 2 seconds. You just said Tottenham Hotspur and strength in depth.
Well, I mean, if
I've not
Jose's
heard that for a few seasons,
I know, but if Jose's coming out and saying obviously it's a good thing to have all sort of 6 attacking players that we've got available, then we've got to sort of look at that as a massive positive and things like that. So yeah, I think I think we do have strength in depth in certain areas of the pitch, but usually we have a couple of injuries in those positions, so it doesn't feel like we have strength in depth
100%.
a lot of the time. What do you think? Are you agreeing with me on that one, Joe, or are you on the fence with that one?
Yeah, I think I agree, but I think it's quite interesting with what he said with this, because he said 6 attacking players, and obviously that doesn't include Sessegnon, does it?
No.
And so if I was Sessegnon, I'd be like, well, you've pretty much said that I'm not ready to be a left back, but now you're not including me in an attacking player. What am I, sort of thing? So I've got a little surprise for you later on when we say the lineup anyway. So don't worry for that. But
Sessegnon up front.
I was going to put him in net, but
So, boys, where do we think the game's gonna be won and lost? Charlie, I'll start with you on this one. So, where do we, like I say, where do we see the game being won and lost? Where are these key battles going to be across the pitch?
Well, the key battle in the game is going to be the centre of the park, and Mark Noble for West Ham, and whoever you throw in the middle for us. To be honest, like you said, Winksy, him and Winksy. Even if Dyer decides to get put forward a bit, or even just walks out of defence, him and Noble will have a bit of a scrap in the middle. So I actually, for that reason, can see Dyer starting maybe at holding midfield tomorrow, because I can just see him just wanting to, Jose just wanting to stop people like Mark Noble getting on the ball. And I can't believe we're saying, we want to stop Mark Noble getting on the ball, but he's just really one of their only dangerous players, because he'll be up for the game. So I think the key battle will be in the midfield. But I've also got to say that you got to look us going forward. I think whatever wingers start tomorrow, you've got to get him behind West Ham's fullbacks and just get the ball into the box. I think getting into the channels, obviously, again, Ngakia, who plays right back, he's a young lad, so he's very much Ngakia. God almighty, I think I got it right. And I think you can see that being an 18-year-old, he might be a bit hit or miss. He might be out of position now and then. I think that's the kind of way where Lucas Moura, being a bit more experienced, someone like that will get right in behind him and really make him look a bit silly, hopefully. So I'd say that's another key area of the pitch. What do you reckon?
Well, we'll put that to Joe. So Joe, where are you thinking it's the key battles are?
I think potentially on our right hand side and on their left, because I think obviously Cresswell will play left back for them, surely. And obviously he's not the quickest, is he? And I think if you've got Lucas Moura up against Cresswell, like surely there's only one winner there. I think Cresswell will be having a nightmare, because obviously Traore came on up against him the other day. Now he's going to have either Lucas or Bergwijn. I think that's going to be a key area. And this might sound a bit brutal, but I think it all depends on how well Fabianski plays as well. I think we will dominate this game. I think Harry Kane's going to want to prove a point if he starts, which I think he will. And I can just see us pretty much dominating the game, hopefully. And just depends on how well their defence and goalkeeper can handle the game. So I think that's in a key battle between potentially Kane and Fabianski. Might sound a bit brutal, but I'm being honest. Obviously you're saying about Mark Noble and all that, and the only thing what I think Mark Noble actually threatens us with is a bit of passion. Like, other than that, he's probably like a League One player. So, like, yeah. What about you, Wes?
No, I think obviously you're making me laugh with that Mark Noble comment. I think that's brilliant. I think the closest he's ever got to an England Cup is squaring up to Delhi. I think him up against. I'd anticipate Winks is gonna start. So I think that is going to be a key battle. I agree with you in terms of our right-hand side. I think that's going to be very key, both offensively and defensively, because I think Aurier's more than likely going to start. Him up against Felipe Anderson. Should Anderson start, it's going to be an interesting battle. But I think from a West Ham perspective, if they're going to get anything from the game, that's probably where they'll look to target. And I think going the other way, if it's Lucas or if it's Bergwijn up against Cresswell, as you said, Joe, I think that's going to be a key battle for us as well, with them being up against Cresswell, who's again more than likely going to start at left back. If it's Masuaku, then we're in for a field day because he can't defend to save his life. I think potentially like I say, if it was Lucas or Bergwijn up against Cresswell, but that would be key. I suspect Moyes might throw a curveball in and play with the back three or back five just to frustrate us and things like that, because I think he's done that a few times in his both stints. I'd say at West Ham he's thrown in a few curveballs every now and then, but I think squad management's probably coming into into play now. So it's a case of how is he going to manage the squad, because I don't think West Ham have got a massive squad. So he's probably going to have to be careful. And I think there's other games for West Ham where, especially if they're playing a team in and around them, that they'll probably look to prioritise. So yeah, that's where I think the game's probably going to be won and lost. So Joe, I'm going to come to you on this one first this time. Who do we think's going to start for? We'll go with Tottenham first. What do you think your predicted lineup's going to be, and what's that going to look like?
Well, Hugo in goal. My main man at right back, Sergio Aurier. Sadly, I think it's going to be a back two of Dyer and Toby, personally, because I don't think West Ham offered too much for it. To put it politely, I think. I think Jan or Cess could be starting left back as well. I think he's going to rest Davis, because obviously Davis is only just coming back from injury as well, really. I don't think he will want to risk him if he doesn't have to as such, because West Ham don't have loads of pace, and I think you could probably play Jan there or Cess. I wouldn't be surprised if either of them two start. I think Jan more likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cess is at left back. I think it'll be a 4-2-3-1 again, and I think it'll be Winks and Ndombele as the two, because Sissoko looked absolutely dead at the end of that game on Friday, and obviously he's only just coming back from injury. So do you want to risk an injury straight away again? No. And I think Lucas, Dele, Son and Kane. And I think Kane is going to be a very key player for us, because obviously Paul Merson's comments the other day, and obviously Jose hitting back, absolutely fantastic. With what he had to say, absolutely loved it. We have got the real Jose now. And I think Kane's going to be like, I'll just go and grab a couple against West Ham, and that will shut him up.
So Joe, I just want to pick up on not Merson's comments, but I remember I was saying to me earlier that about our style of play, and even on with the game on Friday. Do you anticipate that we're going to go about this game and approach it differently compared to Friday's game?
Yeah, I think we'll be on the front foot this game. Well, if we sit back against West Ham, I am not going to be happy, let's put it that way. I don't think I'll have a TV for much longer if we sit back against West Ham. I'm getting angry just thinking about it. But I think some of the comments were unfair of what we had against United. Like, I've heard some comments today, and I was just like, shut up. Like, it does my head in. Like, people going, oh no, Jose just sitting back, trying to defend the 1-0 lead all second half. And I think that's a bit harsh, because say if we would have won it, it'd have been, Jose masterclass, absolutely unreal, But, it didn't quite go to plan. But I also don't think it was the plan to sit back as much as we did. I think he does have a point with how we didn't really have the attacking options to bring off the bench. You've got Kane, who hasn't played in 6 months. I think we only kept him on because of his defensive qualities from set pieces, because he's good in the air. I think Son wasn't his usual self, I don't think. Obviously, just coming back from an injury. And obviously we had Gio as well, who came on partway through the half, and he's not the quickest, is he? He's not as quick as Lucas or Bergwijn. So I think it just naturally dropped because of fitness levels potentially, rather than dropping back because that's what we wanted. I think we would have sat back a bit, but not as much as Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, so I just waffled for nothing.
Wouldn't be the first time, Joe. It wouldn't be the first time.
No comment on that.
So, Charlie, coming to you then, how do you see us lining up?
Well, I've actually gone with I've got the old notepad out, and I wrote down.
Look at that. Charlie on debut is scribbling down some
mate,
notes,
I'm
football
all
manager
organised,
style.
Don't you worry.
Football manager
So
style.
I've sat there and I heard Joe's team, and I think the majority of it I do agree with. And as he was saying it, I thought, yeah, Jose could be a bit controversial and go a bit different. So I'll go through the first, and I've just got Hugo, Serge, Dyer, Toby, Cess, same back five. Then I've gone Ndombele and Celso as the two, with Ali, Mora, Son, and Kane as the front four. Again, just I'm basing it off of people that probably fitness-wise didn't play as much the other night, and again, just that's that kind of lineup. I think the back five is almost, well, who knows really now with all the injuries and not injuries, shall I say, we don't have any more. But I've sat there and I thought, West Ham, we're at home, near the bottom of the league. Jose might think, right, let's stuff them. So I sat there and thought, could he possibly go for that 3/5 at the back with when Dyer sits in the middle and does his little sweeper role, but also drops into midfield now and then? And so I kind of went with that one. I'm thinking he could play Sanchez, Dyer, and Toby with Sessegnon and Serge as the fullbacks, or like attacking fullbacks, shall we say. And then it allows you to have maybe the more attacking midfield of Ndombele, Winks with Ali, kind of less of a physical presence because you've got Dyer that can come into the midfield and break up play, and then you have Ali, Kane and Mora, or Kane and Mora up top together, who again have done it before when we beat United 3-0 last season. Is a prime example where they've done that before. And again, I can see him maybe not starting Sonny because, he didn't. I don't think Sonny's very hit or miss, and I think the other night he was very miss. He didn't get on the ball as much. He didn't run at players. I think maybe you could see him rested, and I could see him going, right, well, we're at home, we've got nothing to lose. We should be beating a side like West Ham quite easily. Let's give this a go. And I know that he wants to get the best out of a player like Eric Dyer, obviously the English-Portuguese connection, Dyer being from Lisbon and everything like that. But I really can see him trying to almost alter the game to benefit us in that part of the park. So there's two lineups I've thrown out to you. I think the first one's definitely more likely. I think we'll probably play 4-2-3-1, and I think that you will have Ali through the middle and Mora on one of the wings and Son on the other. And I do just hope that the comments about Kane helps him more than hinders him, because he performs under pressure well, Harry. But I feel like obviously the old August curse that he always had around him. And I know we're not in August. I know we're in June and it's different. But coming back, it always takes him a bit of time to get going, doesn't it? And I'm just hoping that it's not the same time again, the same kind of thing where he's come back from an injury and he gets that first goal and you'll see him bag loads in. But it's that first goal that's got to come, isn't it? And I think that in a game like West Ham, you can see players like Martin Noble just saying, I'm not giving you the time of day, anyone else on the pitch but you. So we'll see. But I think I agree with Joe mainly with the lineup, and I say probably going to go with that basic 4-2-3-1, to be honest.
No, brilliant. I think my lineup will be Lloris in goal, a back four of Aurier, Sanchez, Alderweireld and Vertonghen. I think I agree with you, Joe. I think Ben Davies might get rested. Obviously coming back from injury. I think Jan will slot in. I think he'll do it ahead of Sessegnon because I think the way we've played a lot of the time is we've had Aurier, who's played really, really high up the pitch. And then Davies, when he has played, has slotted in to almost make a third centre-back, whereas I think like with Vertonghen, he can naturally do it, and he doesn't have to get forward that often either, which might actually help Vertonghen because I think as Spurs fans, as we've seen across the season, Vertonghen's legs aren't what they used to be. Not that Jan was overly quick anyway, but I think his legs are certainly looking like they're on their last legs, for sure. It's almost like you're trying to break up with your favourite car that sort of on its way out, but you just want to keep it. Just keep it because of sentimental value. So I think that's my back five, if you like. Ahead of them, I see Dyer and I see Sissoko playing. I think Jose's really going to want to dominate the midfield in a powerful sense, and almost try and outpower West Ham in that department. So I see Dyer and Sissoko playing, and then ahead of them, I think Lucas will start. I know I said it Friday, but I think it wasn't until the team was announced that I think we all learned that he was injured. So I think Lucas will come back in, and then I think Dele's going to start, and I think Bergvin might have a shift on the left. So yeah, that's my three, and behind, of course, Harry Kane. So yeah, obviously a few changes from the game on Friday. Hopefully not too many to sort of disrupt the flow and the rhythm. But that's sort of how I see us lining up. So guys, make sure that you comment on our different teams, and who we think and who else you think perhaps should play ahead of some of the players that we've chosen. So moving on to how we see West Ham lining up. Charlie, I'm going to come to you first, probably because you're the only one that can pronounce the right back's name properly. So yeah, how do you see them lot lining up?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to be a pretty short answer from me, because I'll tell you what, nowadays I don't even know who plays for West Ham anymore. I don't take much interest in that club, to be perfectly honest. But after watching them the other day, I watched a bit of the Wolves game, and they didn't look great. I think you can see Fabianski's obviously going to start. Obviously, you got Fredericks, who's still on the books around there, but I still think they'll start with good old Jeremy and Ngakia at right back. I still saw Declan Rice played centre half the other day, so again, I think I can see him probably making an appearance at the back, and that'll be interesting. I think that'll be a really interesting battle if he does, because obviously then you'll have Kane in between Declan Rice and Mark Noble, and obviously you know what's going to happen there. Moisey's going to turn up and be like, right, you two stick on him the whole game kind of thing. So that'd be interesting. Again, centre halves with West Ham. Mate, I couldn't even tell you who's going to start at centre half for West Ham. Could down have a Scooby. Cresswell left back probably. Again, Mark Noble will turn up in midfield as he always does. But even going forward, I think they've got Haller still, haven't they? Will he turn up and play? I mean, he's not really hit the ground running, is he? So I don't know, if I'm perfectly honest. I think with a game like this, it's not too crucial to focus on the opposition, especially as Spurs, please turn up, play our football, and we'll get the 3 points. Just don't put in a Spursy performance. That's all I want. That's all I want from us tomorrow.
Right, brilliant. So it looks like we're scrapping Charlie's West Ham predicted 11.
Pretty much, yeah. I agree with your one, mate. I agree with your one.
I haven't even done mine yet. So, Joe, hopefully now you're going to give us a bit more of a lineup for West Ham than Charlie. I think Charlie started off with the right intentions, at least.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I absolutely love that answer. It's just like, I don't know anyone, let's face the facts. They're irrelevant.
I'm going with the idea of, I do know something about football, just not about clubs like West Ham. I don't stoop that low.
I love that.
Oh, there's going to be some bites in there. There's going to be some bites in and around this.
Oh.
Might have to leave Charlie's social medias in the comment section for people.
Oh, don't! I'll be getting hate crime.
Mate, they'll come and rob you. No, I think obviously Fabianski in goal. I'm going to try and say his name now. Jeremy and Ngakia, get in. I think they will be playing a back five. Which will probably turn into like a back 10 because they'll just not want to lose. I think it will be.
So they'll have Jose's bus. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, they'll take Jose's bus. They'll take any bus they can find in London. To be perfectly honest with you. But I think Declan Rice will play in the middle of the back 3 or 5, or whatever you want to say. Pretty much a wannabe Eric Dyer he is now, isn't he? If he's playing centre half and midfield, can't make his mind up. Wannabe Eric Dyer. I think it'll be Balbuena and Diop as the other 2 centre halves, because they're the only other 2 centre halves I know at West Ham. Cresswell left back. Then I think it'll be quite defensive in the midfield as well. I think it'll be that. I don't know how to say his name there. It's going to be embarrassing. That Soucek.
Okay, yeah, the lad they brought in January.
Yeah, the one whose name looks like.
Funny you should say that. I saw him play the other day. I thought he was quite good actually. He's quite a big presence actually.
Yeah, he's just a unit, isn't he? It's just a defensive option, and let's face it, they're not going to be very attacking.
No.
Then Noble, less we say about him, the better. Then I think it'll be. I'm trying to think now, because it is starting to get harder who they'll play. I think Felipe Anderson will play, but I don't rate him that highly. I think he's like one of them luxury players, but he's not even luxury for them because it's West Ham. He doesn't do that much anymore. He had one good spell for West Ham, I think, but apart from that, he's done absolutely nothing. Potentially Lanzini and Antonio, and I think that's 11. If not, that's that. I can't. I think.
Oh,
yeah, that is
4 nows. It'll
yeah,
start.
that's it. I think Lanzini will start ahead of him, to be perfectly honest with you, because I've just got a feeling Lanzini will start because he didn't start against Wolves.
Well, if you saw that miss by 4 nows in the Wolves game, he shouldn't really be starting, should he?
And the thing is as well, Lanzini's got previous against us. You know, the game that Charlie mentioned earlier at the London Stadium, he was obviously the one that bagged in that game. I think West Ham will play with a back 5 with Fabianski in goal. I think Fredericks is going to start at right wing back. I reckon Issa Diop, Ogbonna, and Cresswell as the 3 centre halves, with Masuaku as left wing back. Noble and Rice in the middle of the park, and then I reckon Felipe Anderson, 4 nows, and Haller up top. So a bit of a 3-4-3 kind of thing. Or a 5-4-1, however you sort of want to look at it. I just think that if they are to play with that back 5, I think Masuaku will offer a lot for West Ham going forward, and I think the role actually sort of suits him. I know he had a fairly decent game when we were at Wembley, and did that fairly decent bit of skill and stuff. But I just think if they are to play with the back 3 or back 5, Masuaku starts at left wing back and Cresswell tucks in as a left centre half. That's just the way I see West Ham going, really. They're going to want to sit in. They're going to want to frustrate us. They're not going to want to be too adventurous because of their league position. If they get a point from the game, they'll see it as a point gained, whereas we'll probably see it as 2 dropped. Like I say, that's just the way I see West Ham lining up, to be perfectly honest. So, boys, last one. Score predictions, scores on the doors, as they say. Charlie, what are you going for? And who's going to score for either side if there is to be a goal either way?
3-0 Tottenham. And Ari's going to bag 1. And Lucas is going to get 2.
Lovely. Joe, what are you going for?
I was going 3-0 as well, to be fair. I think Ari will score. I think Del Boy will, and I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit of an obscure scorer for the other one. I'm going to put Dyer out there. Dyer's going to bag as well. Make up for that penalty. He'll go on, son. And then he'll go and celebrate in front of Mark Noble. Oh, exactly. And he's good at set pieces. Yeah, I'll go for Harry, Del Boy, and Dyer to score.
Nice. I reckon 2-1.
A bit more negative.
Well, if you've seen us defend all season, we are actually up there in terms of fewest clean sheets in the league. I think we've only got 4 all season. So
lovely
chances. And then if you actually look at the reverse fixture as well, we were 3-0 up, cruising, and we nearly messed that one up as well.
Jose's first game, we were bedding in, mate.
So I think Kane will score. I actually think he'll score a penalty. He's bagged a couple of penalties, I think, against West Ham as well. I also think that Dele will score as well. For West Ham, I've got a feeling Antonio might come off the bench and bag one. He does like a bit of a goal against us, Antonio, both home and away. So I think he's going to nick one, and it'll probably end up being again a bit of a nervy finish.
It's a Tottenham way.
I know it's not good for the heart rate, I must admit, but
I miss the times when we were 4-0 up against Stoke City at half time. So we come in the second half. I don't even need to watch it. We just sit back, relax, have a chat.
Yeah, I think most people miss those days. Even in last year at White Hart Lane, turning up 12:30 kickoffs, 4-0, job done. See you later.
Game was done by 12:45.
Yeah, literally. Right, guys, that is it for our preview episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, let us know in the comment section your thoughts on team selection, how the game's going to go, and score predictions as well. Big thanks to Joe. Big thanks to Charlie for joining us today. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, up the Spurs.
Up the Spurs.